there, board game maniacs. Hope you're having a good day and you're ready, because tomorrow is the day that we go into the wasteland, the apocalyptic wasteland, and we try to defeat the monsters and the other factions in there to try to win the game. I'm excited, as if you can't tell. That's right. This is video number 4, and it is going to be the last video. That is the build-up for our live streaming of Fallout the board game by Fantasy Flight Games. We are streaming on December 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Twitch. A live game, a solo mission game, where you, the viewers, are going to help me play this game. You're going to comment into the texting. My wife Shelly is going to monitor this. She's going to pass along the information, and you're going to help me decide if I should encounter, if I should fight, if I should quest, if I should run away. In either case, you are all going to help me, and you're going to help me try to beat this game. That is right. So in this last video, we are going to talk about none other than the tokens that are used in this game. Looks like a lot of tokens. It's not going to take long to get through. This video may be a little bit shorter. I also included some map tiles. We did talk about that, but I guess you can kind of count them as tokens. They're tiles, but they're tokens. And we're just going to plug on and do that right now. Looking at the map tile tokens, map tiles, and call them map tile tokens. Looking at them first, but in either case, I can't remember if I talked about this when in the video we did for setting up the scenario that you're going to play. So here's 2 examples of the map token. Now again, these are double-sided. Some are not double-sided. Some have the city ones, and so on and so forth. But the reason why I wanted to bring these up into this video is number 2. You see these are 2 examples of map tiles or tokens, and you have some red outline ones and you have some green outline ones. The reason why that is the red outline is considered rough terrain. Now, when you move from space to space in the game, it's 1 movement point, and when you initiate movement, you get 2 movement points during your turn. But if you want to move, just say you're here and you want to move into this rough terrain, it's not going to take you 1 movement point, but 2 movement points to move into that. So that's why I wanted to bring it up at this video when we're doing about the tokens, talk about that, because this is rough terrain. Anything with the red outline is rough terrain. Next is a green terrain. This green terrain, you can see it has these radiation symbols, and that just simply means that whenever a character or a survivor moves into this, they're going to suffer radiation damage. Unless you are the ghoul, where you're going to increase your hit points, but you can only increase to a maximum of what you have, which is 12. So that's why I wanted to talk about that first off, just so I don't forget about that, with the rough terrain with the red outline and the green outline for the radiation. Let's go on to the tokens now. First set of tokens that I want to talk about, and it takes up mostly the majority of all these tokens, are your enemy tokens. So let's look at the different type of enemy tokens. Let's grab this bug one first. Oh, it's a little bug. Bug, 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 bug. So this here is a critter token. So this is a critter enemy. So when you're playing this game, they are on the other side, the information, but just so you're familiar with it, the critters look like bugs. So let's flip it over and let's take a look at one of these critters, and let's explain what this looks like. So first you have an image of the type of critter. This is a mole rat, and you have the critter icon right here. Very simple. You have here a cogwheel and a number 1. That is the level of the critter. And then you have the body, and the chest cavity is filled in. So to successfully hit this critter, you have to have successes on the VAT dice that have this symbol, which is the colored in like main part of the body. And you have to hit them at least 1 time. So it's level 1 and it takes 1 hit. Now you see the yellow here. They're going to be all different symbols for the yellow part here. But this arrow one here, that means retreat. And the retreat is if you fail to kill this enemy, it is flipped face down, becoming inactive. So that pretty much means when you're going up against this guy, if you roll and you fail to kill him, which I have to add to it that when you are fighting an enemy, it's all or nothing, which means you'll have to kill it within the first roll. If you don't, then, you know, you don't kill it. That's it. Unless you have a reroll that you can reroll some or all of your dice. But if you don't kill this mole rat, he'd become inactive by just flipping this critter icon back over again. And that is it for that. So again, we'll explain too as well about rolling to fight a monster. Actually, we're going to explain about that part right now. This is a look at the dice that you get into the game. They're called VATS dice. V period, A period, T period, S period. VATS. Now you get 3 of them. You can see the other 2 right here. And these here is what you use when you're doing tests and also when you're doing combat. So you can see this here is a prime example that I just flipped over. So this monster, which is a critter, he's the mole rat. You can see to hit him, you have to get a chest cavity shot, which is right here. But you can also see there's head shots, there's arm shots, there are full body shots, which will include the chest cavity because it's colored in. And, you know, like so on and so forth. Now you can also see there's little pips onto the dice. And what them pips stand for is the monster attack. So whenever you're rolling to fight a monster, you roll the 3 dice, and if you get any pips, this is a killer. Excuse me, because when I played the game the 3 or 4 times, and I sucked miserably, it was all because of my dice rolling, because I was horrible at dice rolling. So pretty much, so this is level 1, and he has 1 hit point onto him. So when you roll, you would have to at least get 1 chest cavity to kill this bugger. But when you roll and you get any pips, you have to add them up and you have to do a little bit of simple multiplication here. So where he's level 1, just say I got 3 pips. So actually, let's just do that, 2 pips. But again, each dice have different amount of pips onto it. So just say I rolled all 3 dice and only got 2 pips. So then to find out how much damage this little bugger, this mole rat, does to you, you would add up all the pips. So in this case, just say hypothetically my other 2 dice were blank with pips. So that'd be 2 times 1 would be 2. So he would damage me for 2 damage. So I'd be knocked down 2 hit points. Yeah. Sometimes when I was playing off camera, just trying out the game to get the feel for it, and I was rolling like 5 pips, and I was up against like a level 2 monster. So 5 times 2 is 10. So that was 10 hit points. Bam! That he hit me for right away. So again, I died horribly. I died quickly. And I wasn't very happy for dying. That's right. So anyhow, that is it for the monster. That's for the pip dice too as well. And again, that arrow, each of these, they may not have any icons, or they may have a couple of icons or logos onto it. And we'll explain it. So again, that is your critter. That is your VAT dice. Let's look at an example of one of the other enemy tokens. I want to go through all of them because I don't want to do a spoiler, but I want to let you know what each of the icons mean. So this here one here, you can probably tell what it is. It's a robot. We'll flip this last one over. I don't want to get into more detail, but anyhow, this guy's dangerous because he's a level 3. And you can see he has different icons. So this is a sentry bot, and to hit him you have to get arms and or a chest cavity to try and damage him. Now remember, what I just talked about with the dice and rolling it for the pips. If I got 4 pips when I was fighting him, that means he attacked me 4 times 3. Haha, that's right. So a heck of a lot more damage. That'd be 12 hit points. Boom. Just like that he would take me for. So you got to be really, really careful to choose your battles, because if you're first starting out and you don't got a lot of equipment or shield or anything, you don't want to fight a level 3 enemy, because it'll just totally obliterate you very quickly, which I learned in the game, unfortunately, very quickly too as well, because I was destroyed. Now you have a lightning bolt. Now this lightning bolt is aggressive. When the enemy moves into your space or you move into its space, you immediately fight it. This fight does not take an action. So any enemy that has this lightning bolt means that they are aggressive, and that's what happens. Now, one thing I want to point out too as well before we get to the other icon here is just say this is laying on the map, just like so. And you are here. Forget about that other token right there, but you're here. So on it, when you flip over the agenda cards and it shows that a robot activates and he's been already activated, then he's going to move into your space and he's going to attack you right away. But from where he has this gun icon, this is a range icon. So range means, oh, I gotta get on camera here. Sorry guys and girls and everybody. So ranged, when this enemy activates, it can fight you from an adjacent space. If it does, and you don't have a weapon, it gets an additional pip. That is horrible. So pretty much the old saying is you don't take a knife to a gunfight. If you don't have a gun and you're coming up against a range enemy, then they get an extra 1 pip that will go against you, which is not going to be a good thing. So that's what the range is, and the aggression. So if you're here and your enemy is here and they have the range icon and aggression, and if they get activated, they're going to shoot you. They're going to attack you. So you just have to be very, very careful and cautious about this, because again, the enemies that are like level 3, they're very dangerous. Sometimes level 1s are dangerous too, because I had enemies that I fought into my short lifespan of playing this game, that they were level 1s, and they still killed me because my dice rolling sucked. That's right. So right now, that is your robot icon, or token for the enemy robots. I'm not going to flip any more of the enemy tokens over, but just so we know which all of them means, this red one, which I heard is very, very vicious. I never encountered any yet. They're monsters. The ones with the horns, and they're like reddish orange. And then you have the skull one. These are humans, like human raiders and so on. And then you have these here, which are like DNA strands. These are super mutants, which again are super powerful, and they can do a lot of hurt onto you. I don't want to encounter them guys either until I am like souped up enough with some armor and some weapons that I can just totally get in there and like, hey, you're not going to hurt me that bad because I'm going to destroy you first. But when you roll the dice, the VAT dice, like here, and you're fighting against the enemy, what a kicker is you may kill him, just say he needed 1 cavity shot and you rolled it, so he's dead. But before you kill him, and if you're only pips, you still have to take that damage from that enemy. So that can be very detrimental to your character and can knock you down very quickly. You may be successful in killing that enemy, but they still got some shots in onto you before you kill them and remove them from the board. Yeah. So again, that is the monster ones. Another thing I want to talk about, I already talked about this in the video previously, but when you flip one of these over and it has an icon, you're going to take this. So like the human icon, you flip it face up for the first time. But once you kill it, and you're going to take another one of the icons of the same one and put it onto an open map tile that has the icon, but you don't put it face up this time. You're going to put it face down so they're inactive. And you can't move onto a tile and say, I'm going to fight an enemy that is inactive. You have to wait until they actually become activated. Because if you look at these map tiles a little closer, you can see like there's cars here. So if this is the scale, you could land on here, because this is a big building. So you can land onto this, there could be an enemy there, but you know, even though your miniature is so big and it's on the tile, you have to think perspective-wise, that miniature is only tiny, this building is huge, and you're not going to be able to find that inactive enemy and battle them. You have to wait till they become active, and then they're going to try to find you, or you can find them then, and only then you can fight them. Now, another point that I want to make into this is, so this here is a Raider Psycho, but one thing I want to do, you know, this has an aggression and it has a loot token. So if you kill it, you get a loot token times whatever the level is, so you'd get 2 loot tokens. Now, this here is, again, the lightning bolt meant that it's aggressive. If that lightning bolt wasn't there, and they were in this space, and you move up into this space, you don't have to fight it if it's not aggressive. You can choose to fight it for one of your actions if you want. But if not, because this, you have to think perspective-wise, that this is so small, this Raider is so small that, you know, you could be here in the corner of the building and the raider could be all the way over here. They're not going to be able to attack you right away unless they're aggressive, because it's like they have some kind of security system on there that will let them know that you're in the area. But that's only if they're like aggressive. If they're not aggressive, you can leave the space with them, or you can choose to stay there and fight them if they're active, and that is it. So I wanted to make that distinction because it's very important. We already talked about these tokens here, which have the icon on the one side. Get in focus, camera. Come on, there you go. And the other side, it's got a letter. These are your special tokens that you use for your character dashboard. We already talked about that. Now, VAT dice, we already talked about them. And we already talked about these icons here, which are your trait tokens. We already did that in the character, talking about the character video and the character dashboard. So if you don't know about that, just go back and look at that video and it'll let you know everything you need to know about that. So next thing we're going to talk about here are these two tokens right here, and they are called your faction tokens. So with these faction tokens, I'm just picking some up just to show you. This is an example. Just say hypothetically we are playing the Commonwealth, which we may do unless there's enough people recommending a different scenario to play during the live stream. But some cards that you flip over, your encounter cards or quest cards or what have you, will tell you to play certain faction tokens on certain parts of the board. So then these would be represented by the faction. And then if you look at whatever scenario, the faction power track, where you have like the shield and star onto it, and it tells you like if these are going to be the railroad, what their power is when you're battling them, and so on and so forth. They're in the other video, but just so that I can refresh everybody's memory. So again, this is your scenario card, and on the other side, it tells you, so the star is the railroad, and it gives the information here, which I explained for the side part here. So that's what these are for. The star, in this case, would be the Commonwealth. If we're playing Commonwealth scenario, they'd be the railroad. And then the other ones, which is the shield, would be the Institute. And again, these are people that are enemies you're going to have to fight unless you declare loyalty to either one of these, and that would stop that faction from coming after you and chasing you to fight you. So yeah, sometimes it's kind of advantageous to declare loyalty to one of these depending on the circumstance, so that you don't get knocked down quicker because you already got enemies to deal with besides these two factions. But again, that's all with your agenda cards. If it tells you, flip it over to declare loyalty to the Institute or the railroad or what have you, depending on what scenario you're playing, and so on. Aha! Next token that I want to talk about are these tokens right here. They're arrow tokens. They're known as quest markers. Now with these quest markers, when you are playing the game, you're going to notice that, well, when we're doing the live streaming, you're probably going to notice that there's a lot of quests that you can do. And just to keep track of what quests you want to do, just say one said, go to like Boston City, if there was a Boston City there. Then you would take one and lay it on the quest card, say like, I'm going to do that quest. And you take the other one, which is the same color, and lay it on the map tile Boston City, so you know that's where you want to go for that. So these are just kind of, they keep track of what quests that you're doing, and again, you got different colors here for that, but that is what it's used for these quest markers, and there are 8 of them. Last but not least is the money for this game. They are your cap tokens. So you can see there's 2 different types of cap tokens, the red ones and the blue ones. So during the game, you can collect caps. You can use the caps to spend on equipment when you go shopping, and so on and so on. So there's value on each of them. The blue ones are 5 and the red are 1. So these are pretty much the currency of the game, of this is what you would use when you are playing the game so you can buy stuff or pay people off or what have you. That's what they're for. I don't have all of the cap tokens on the board, but just to let you know, you get 54 cap tokens in total. So that's a lot of currency that you can use to play in this game. And that is it. This is the last video until tomorrow, December 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Twitch, where we are going to do a live streaming of the Fallout the board game. Now, it's starting at 8 o'clock. It could end soon. It could take a little while longer. But I know that whatever character I pick, if I die the first time, and like I talked about when we did the character boards, the survivor boards, when they meet, you know, you go back to the starting tile and you keep going. But once you die, you go back, and if you start off again and they're meeting already, then, you know, your character is dead, and we're playing a solo mission. So if I die then, that means the game is over. That could end in 20 minutes, it could end in an hour, I don't know. This is going to be all dependent on to your decision and my decision playing this game. By commenting into the chat section so that you can guide me and help me play this game so that we can try to succeed together and beat this solo mission for Fallout. I really hope that I'm going to beat this game, because my past history of playing this, like I said, the 3 or 4 times that I played this, I died every time and very quickly. So that means that I either suck at playing this game or I just suck at rolling the dice, or it's a combination of both. So I need all of you viewers out there to help me and play this game to see if I can finally beat this Fallout game in the nuclear wasteland, because I need all the help I can get, and you, the viewers, the subscribers, the fans of BoardGameManiacs, is going to be the ones that will help me succeed in this mission. I thank you very much. And on top of that, I do thank you for all of the inspiration you're giving me, all of the subscriptions, all of the comments, all the love that you show me, all of the donating to BoardGameManiacs as an official sponsor or a one-time donation. And I've already explained it in my other videos. There's a link into the description below that you can click on if you want to become a sponsor of BoardGameManiacs or make a one-time donation. In either case, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It just helps keep the lights on. It helps me reach the goal of what I want to do. Is I want to get enough money together to buy a better editing computer and a better camera. My mic system is pretty good right now. I may upgrade that in the future. I don't know. But all I'm saying is any bit helps me, and I appreciate it very much. Even if it's just viewing and subscribing and commenting, I appreciate all the love, and I love all of you for doing that for me. So I thank you very much from the bottom of my toes up to the top of my head. I appreciate everything that you're doing and all the love you're showing BoardGameManiacs. That's right. Thank you very much. So I hope to see you all tomorrow. Again, December 14th, the big day tomorrow to play this game. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play this at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, like I say in all the other videos, we're going to stream on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. So you can be on Twitch watching it and you can do a comment. I will get it. You can be on YouTube and you can do a comment and I will get it. I will get it in real time to help me try and finish this game off and be successful. So thank you very much, everybody who's watching this and everybody who's going to join in tomorrow to play this game with me. I am looking forward to doing this. I am very excited. So until next time, BoardGameManiacs, actually not next time, until tomorrow, BoardGameManiacs, talk to people. Communicate to me tomorrow. Well, actually to Shelly, that you will relay and communicate to me so that we can play this game and advance further in this post-nuclear apocalyptic setting for Fallout by Fantasy Flight Games. That's right. So until next time, you know what I'm going to say, and that is, be a maniac. Thank you very much. I'll see y'all tomorrow.